Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Will.
How's it going?
Pretty good. We just watched the new episode of old Mandalorian.
Wait, you watched Mandalorian when you should have been playing a new game for the podcast?
Yeah.
Look at this fucking guy. He plays one game for 1 week. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm carrying this whole podcast.
I played 2 games and I put out a video today.
Damn.
Where's
Did
that? You put out a video?
No, it was that little 2-second clip of me going gay.
Is that just
It's a video.
Isn't that just every single one of your streams?
True.
How's Mandalorian? I'm completely out of it right now. I've gone off of everything Star Wars.
Yeah, things are happening. We also watched the Monster Hunter movie yesterday.
Right.
Just for a bit of a laugh. That movie's terrible. Don't watch it. But one of the things that was wrong with it was the whole movie felt like the intro to a better movie. Does that make sense? Like, you know, at the start of a James Bond film, there's always James Bond's in a bit of a caper.
He's at like the end of another movie at the start of a James Bond movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like he wraps all that up in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops, you know? And then it's like, oh, that's the catalyst for the start of the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And Monster Hunter yesterday, and then this Mandalorian today. Mandalorian is like, we're on episode 7 or 8, I think. 7 of this season. And it's like, I'm like, oh, now the plot is happening. 7 hours into this show.
Really?
Now things are happening. And the rest of it has just been like spinning its wheels the entire time. It's really weird.
Episode 6 was a trip.
I have like no source at all to back this up, but I read a thing that was like the upcoming future of, you know, Star Wars, Disney stuff. And it was like, we've got this coming out, this, and there's also a movie coming out to like tie around and bring around the Mandalorian story. And I was like, for God's sake, why, like, I'm so. I think I'm getting sick of like cinematic universes now.
Yeah, I think same.
It's like, just tell a story and wrap it up. Christ, they've got places to be.
yeah, and it's like no, I've completely forgotten what I was gonna say. You derailed me there.
No,
that's on you.
There's the whole like cinematic universe thing. I also watched the trailer for the Marvels. That's the new Marvel movie.
Oh yes, yeah.
And
yes,
I should be really into this because this movie is the culmination of like WandaVision and Miss Marvel and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm so burnt out, I think. I was just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Do you know what I took away from that was we're getting the Samuel L. Jackson movie series, the Disney Plus series.
Yeah.
And then because I saw him in the trailer for the Marvels, I'm like, oh, well, he's not going to die.
Well, that's because I saw comments about that as well. Like, well, if he's in this, he can't die. But other people being like, oh, no, this takes place after or before. This
timeline shit.
Yeah. It's like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. It just,
Oh, that's what I was, speaking of timelines, that's what I was going to say about all this Star Wars stuff that's happening. Is I'd be really excited for like new, like more expanded Star Wars stuff if I didn't know it all. What's the opposite of like branches out? It all
accumulates.
It all accumulates, all comes back together for the sequel trilogy, which sucked.
Yeah.
I'm like watching Mando like, oh, baby Yoda's cute, but at some point, fucking Kylo Ren's gonna show up and then I'm gonna be miserable again. And it's like, oh.
At one point, someone's gonna talk to Mandalorian and say, we have the technology to make Palpatine return. And I'll be like, there it is. There it is.
They kind of hinting, they keep talking about like, oh, cloning, right? We're big into cloning. And I'm like, oh, don't do it.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
I was kind of like that with the Lord of the Rings series, Rings of Power, where I'm like, it's good, but you kind of like just see the where you know the end goal. It's kind of like, you can kind of predict what's going to happen. I'm still going to enjoy it and enjoy the journey, but it's like you know certain characters aren't dying, you know.
Yeah,
which kind of
the thickest plot armor because they literally can't go anywhere.
It was in the I think it was the trailer for the Solo movie where they do. It was like showing the characters in peril, and there was a comment under it that was like, "Boy, sure hope that Chewbacca doesn't die." God, I really like that guy.
Yeah, it's like it's the culmination of, it feels like that you had like for ages Apple and these other technology companies being like, if we can keep people in our garden, in our sphere of influence, we can have this market forever and ever. And it feels like it's now the same with like media and movies and TV, where it's just like, if we can keep people just watching Marvel forever, we're literally sorted.
I was gonna say,
go on, Steve.
No, you go on.
Well, I was just gonna, and it's like that, like keep you in, and I'm like, it's like, oh, hey, look, isn't this fun? I'm like, I guess. It's like, whoa, that wasn't that exciting? And I'm like, not really, but I guess I watched it, so it's like, I don't know how they've done it.
I think to me, it all comes back to Game of Thrones, where Game of Thrones really did change TV with how, like, you didn't know, like, just randomly certain characters could just die. And I feel like companies are trying to like get that level of storytelling, but they can't with these, like, even like the Game of Thrones prequel, House of Dragons. It's like, who survives and who doesn't. You don't have that mystery, or because you know how it ends.
Like, my issue with a lot of these things now is because things have to feed into like a larger sphere. I feel like it takes away the impact a movie has to have on its own. And I don't think that's not even always true. Like, some of these movies are really good on their own, but because they are part of a larger thing, people are always focusing on the larger thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I was gonna say Spider-Man films were great.
Exactly, yeah, they were really good, and those ones I feel like they're some of the best standalone stuff. But some other ones aren't.
It does feel like it's like it's almost the opposite of Game of Thrones, where it's like, no, there are no consequences at the moment for these big franchises, because they always have to keep the door open in case it's like, oh, well, this villain was super popular, so we gotta bring him back. It's like Marvel killed Loki like 4 times, right? But they kept bringing him back because everybody's like, Tom Hiddleston, he's so hot right now.
Bring him back.
Bring him back. Yeah.
I want them to do a new Marvel movie about a new character, and then they kill that character 10 minutes in.
By the end.
No, by the end.
They do an origin story for a villain instead of a hero, except it's told from the hero's perspective. That's a great idea.
Yeah, origin story for a character that dies in that movie. Sick.
Yeah.
I think that'd be like really good. Has that been done? Marvel, hit me up. I'll kill. I don't know. Ironheart? Is that a new character?
What was that? What was that? There was that. Was it like a documentary or something where they were trying to buy the rights to a DC hero?
Oh, I don't
Never
know.
heard
Oh my
of
god!
this before.
So I'm gonna let you keep spinning until you try and find something.
Fuck! What was it?
I know there was. Whilst you try and find that, I know there was the thing before Marvel had X-Men. They were trying to do. What was it? They were trying to do like Inhuman stuff, I think, which were kind of like, these are our kind of mutants now-ish, kind of maybe. And then they got X-Men back, and it's kind of like, oh, but now what do we do with this? We just made all this stuff. It's all like weird right now. Did you? I'm rambling. Did you find your thing in your head?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't DC. It was Marvel. It was. Where did I see that? It was something super interesting where they were like, how there's got Marvel has a laundry list of heroes that they're just never gonna use.
Yeah, literally thousands.
Yeah, they were like, how could we buy the license to some obscure hero and use it for like promoting something? And it was they were like, yeah, absolutely not. That vault is completely sealed tight. Just in case, like, it's fucking Baseball Man or something.
Yeah,
he's never gonna get a movie, but just in case.
Time to whip out Speedball in the new new Ant-Man movie.
Girl. Free her.
Free who?
Squirrel Girl.
Oh, she'll turn up at some point.
Hopefully.
Like a meme, right? Like a Marvel meme.
I've never seen her watch. I only know about her from the card game, but
all I know about Squirrel Girl is she has the powers of a squirrel, and she beat Thanos that one time.
She
And the
beat
girl.
Thanos that one time.
Oh.
Just like there's that panel of just her standing up in front of Thanos, who's just defeated on the floor. And this was I remember that going around during like peak Infinity War and Endgame stuff when Thanos was like the big bad. Yeah. What are we talking? Mandalorian? Yeah, you were rapping Monster Hunter the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny watching through something like The Mandalorian and just being like, I don't understand the stakes or any of the major players, and like I feel like I'm paying close attention. I'm like, I don't know why anything is happening.
You ready for my hot take?
Go for it.
God, here we go.
I think people stopped just watching things to have fun a while ago.
I can see that.
I mean, it's kind of like FOMO for TV, right? It's like you can't watch this cool Marvel movie without watching all the other ones, and etc. etc. So you got to keep up, otherwise you'll miss out.
There was certain. I think it's sort of died down now, but in the past there was always like you had to watch the latest episode or something because people were talking about it on Twitter. Like, and now people don't talk about series as much as they used to.
Oh no, that is still very much a thing. I think you've hit the nail on the head. Is people feel compelled to watch the newest thing because if they don't watch it, it's going to get spoiled, and it's like, oh, I have to watch it, otherwise I'm not going to get the best experience.
I would argue that
what if I do enjoy it?
I'd argue it's a lot like deeper than that, and human beings naturally want to be social and involved in things, and if everyone is talking about something, you feel like to keep up in conversations, you have to like tag along for the ride just in case, so you can be part of the conversation.
Mandalorian specifically, I get like legacy obligation where the first season was so popular and it was everywhere and everyone was talking about it, and I kind of feel like I don't feel like it has these sequel seasons or any of the other Star Wars shows have like captured, apart from maybe Andor, but I feel like that was a sleeper hit because everybody was sick of Star Wars by the time Andor came out, and it turned out to be the best Star Wars thing they've done.
And it was slow at the start as well.
I feel like that whole like legacy attachment for me in regards to Star Wars has like completely gone now, and I feel like I'm slowly getting there with Marvel stuff now as well. I feel like if I don't see the next 2, maybe 3 Marvel movies, like I just won't care anymore. Like,
See, here's the thing though. It's like I went and saw Ant-Man: Quantumania, right? I have still not watched Ant-Man 1 or 2, and it was fine. The movie was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't even need to know what happened, and I'm pretty sure Ant-Man 2 was pretty integral to some Avengers stuff, because there was a few things that I didn't really like. I just kind of just glossed over. I was like, oh, he's around when he shouldn't be. Oh well, just enjoy it.
Well, that's now like... That's like almost the opposite, like an even weirder version of the story, where the fact that it's all legacy and ties into each other could hurt certain movies going forward, because as good as Ant-Man is, there might be someone that's not like you, Sam. It might be like, well, everyone's saying this new Ant-Man movie's good, and I want to see it, but I haven't seen the first 2. I don't really want to see the first 2, so I'm just not going to see the third one.
I feel like Marvel's big enough where they don't
think
care.
You're right. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, people just need to just watch what they want to fucking watch.
Yeah. Yeah, somehow this ties into everyone going to go see the Mario movie, which is selling.
Which apparently
I don't know.
It's got really bad critic reviews, but really good. People reviews. But the word escapes me.
You heard it here first from Sam. Movie critics are not people.
Soulless entities.
Soulless entities that are here to ruin the fun. Let's get this show on the road. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Game FourCast, the weekly gaming podcast, where we get together and talk about all the latest news and what we play for the week. My name is Josh, aka BottlerWorks, and I'm here with Olive Meister Will.
Hello.
Quikwix Steve.
Hi, my name is Steve, and okay, I am obsessed with mustard.
And Sammeh.
Hello.
Yeah, we could sit here and talk about.
You want to elaborate on that, Steve? Hold on.
He's not gonna.
I was vulnerable, and I do not wish to speak on it any further.
There you go.
Okay.
I was just going to say that we could go around in circles shouting about Marvel stuff for ages, so I thought I'd just rip the Band-Aid off and start what we're doing.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
All right, top story of the week is just the fact that myself and Will haven't really played anything this week. Slackers, absolute slackers. We've been playing stuff every other week, I think, for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, but I think it's kind of dry at the moment, right? There's not a whole lot of stuff.
I have in my shopping basket. I have Meet Your Maker, the new game from
Behavior.
Dead by Daylight people.
Behavior. Thank you, Dead by Daylight people. And I have Diablo 2 Resurrected, and I have complete choice paralysis. I cannot decide which one I want to play because I don't think I really have time to play both, and they're both quite big games. I've heard.
Do not play Diablo 2 so close to Diablo 4. That's my answer to that question. I would say Meet Your Maker.
Think people. I actually said this to our friend the other day, and I think people think Diablo 4 is closer than it actually is. Like, it's still June. Like, it's not. We've still got June. A little bit to go.
Yeah, but we've got games. We've got games before then.
Okay, when in June was it? Let me have a look.
June 8th, 7th or 8th or something?
It was early on, yeah.
6th of June. That's less than 2 months. That will literally
Wait, that is
fly.
not far away. Bloody hell.
Yeah, that will fly by.
What happened to 2023?
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, and before then, we've got like Zelda, Redfall. There's a bunch of games coming out.
You've got Redfall in about like 3 weeks.
It's May 2nd, so
about 3 weeks. Roughly.
Did I fucking start the moment there?
You got Zelda on May. I'm just gonna say May.
Middle of May.
And then everything is June, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if you're deciding between those two, play Meet Your Maker, and then wait for Diablo 4.
I was gonna say you could probably get some streams out of Meet Your Maker as well.
Well, that would be a stream game, yeah. I guess, yeah.
I mean, what is Meet Your Maker, like 25 quid? I think.
Yeah, it's
pretty budget. The only thing is, I feel like there was hype for it pre-release, and then it's come out, and I've heard and seen nothing, and nobody playing it.
It's a slow burn. I know what you're. Yeah,
I think it's gonna be a slow burn, like Dead by Daylight was.
I think you should be the trendsetter in this situation.
Be the change you want to see.
Be the change you want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's not the worst thing you could do.
You could be the big Meet Your Maker streamer.
That's already Otstava, I'm afraid.
It does look really interesting. Oh, you got this one as well. Fuck.
Well, it's just like Behavior, isn't it? It's like, what if I also play this?
I guess, yeah.
I think Meet Your Maker looks cool. And I would like to see someone play this. My only issue with it is I feel like aesthetically it's really boring. I feel like it's just a bunch of metal cubes.
I quite like the Rust Punk kind of aesthetic.
Yeah, looks kind of Quakey kind of thing.
My problem with it is basically Mario Maker, and I remember people just.
Huh? I don't know where everyone keeps saying this. Why is it? Besides that you build a level. How is it Mario Maker?
Because Mario Maker.
That's what you do in Mario Maker.
Yeah, in Mario Maker, you build a level, and then most of the time, you just get levels where people have made it as difficult as possible. Like, not a fun level, a difficult level. And this game gives like those kind of vibes. Like, they're not going to make fun levels to get through. They're going to make like, oh no, you need to like pixel peek around this corner to avoid this trap, and that's what I mean. Like, I'm not a good enough gamer for it.
Steve, I'm sure there was a big dev meeting at some point, and they went, "How do we not do?"
I was about to say, I don't want to throw shade at you, Steve, but like, do you know any of this factually that you're saying?
I've seen one round of this game.
So you've seen one round of this game and decided that's the entire game.
Yep.
That's like seeing a Kaizo level of Mario and being like, wow, Mario is fucking well hard.
Mario sucks.
I'm never playing any of them. It's insane.
Honestly, though, I have watched Kaizo games. I'm like, oh, and then I go to play Mario and I fail one jump, and I'm like, is this a Kaizo? And I'm like, no, it's
I watched you stream Mario on the Game Boy on Nintendo Switch.
Oh, yeah.
And you died to the first Goomba twice. The Goomba that teaches you to jump.
Don't out me like this.
That VOD is out there. I need to find that VOD before it just vanishes.
Someone clip it. Yeah,
Someone
he's already
find
on the way to delete it. You got to race him there.
I think this game's probably good. I think it's probably pretty good. I reckon I need to know more about it. I would hope that there's some kind of way of organizing levels by most popular. But I literally know nothing about this game besides the gameplay loop.
One thing I have heard about this game is it doesn't do what Mario Maker does, where you don't need to complete your level to upload it. So you probably can get some unwinnable levels. Yeah, I've heard that they might have changed it.
So he's heard it. He doesn't know.
I can't confirm, but I've heard that, so it's fact.
This is the complete opposite of
the grapevine.
This is the complete opposite of what we've played this week. This is what we think we know about this game. That's probably not true.
What we think we played this week. I like this segment where we just make stuff up about video games we haven't played. I'm down for this. Next week, I'm going to talk about how shit Street Fighter 6 is.
The combos are really hard by the looks of it.
Yeah.
The graphics are great.
There's a character in Street Fighter 6. You press one button and it just insta kills your opponent. I've heard that.
That's insane. How can they let that? How can they let that happen? That's actually mad.
Yeah, that's so bullshit.
They should probably fix that. Yeah. Going back to what we were saying, I think if you're going to pick one of the two between Diablo 2 and this, I would pick this, but that's just me.
I would pick it as well. Yeah,
I think okay. You've convinced. I'm gonna play Meet Your Maker, and then I'm gonna play Path of Exile, the new season of Path of Exile.
Okay, are you gonna
scratch that itch?
I need you to also stream this because I would love to watch you play this.
Okay, I guess well, that's what I'm doing tomorrow then. I guess.
Oh, fuck you! Tomorrow? Hell yeah! Okay. Well,
just like I would actually had an appointment. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I'm busy that day.
Washing my hair.
So speaking of, what the fuck? Fucking drive-by.
That one got me.
Unbelievably rude. Wow. Well, speaking of Path of Exile, what have you been playing, Sam?
Hello, it's Path of Exile.
Oh
I think I'm finally in.
Oh god.
Oh shit.
Finally you're in.
We lost him.
So I played it for 10 minutes, right? Got to level 3.
He's in.
Quit the game. Right? And then I spoke to one of our friends, Chris, who plays the seasons.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh no, it's fine. I enjoy it. I get further in." And I'm like, "All right, let's give it another go." And now, I've hit that point where I'm doing things.
You're making paths to exiles finally.
He left character creation.
So, this game, because I spoke to another one of our friends, and I had to explain how big the barrier to entry this game has. Right. Because this game, I wouldn't say it has a sharp, skill, wall. It's not like there's something stopping you progressing physically.
Yeah.
You just gotta get good over.
It's not like a difficulty spike, is it? Or curve. It's more like Sisyphus in that you're constantly pushing that knowledge boulder up a hill, and at any moment, it's like a struggle the entire way, and it never ends.
Yeah, it's I looked up a build because I was like, right, I'm gonna look up a build for leveling so that I can, because I already struggle to play this game for any decent amount of time. So let's try to make it as easy for me as possible.
Yeah,
look up a build, have a good time, slay some shit. Level up. Let's get somewhere. Let's get past Act 2 for once, right?
Yeah.
And the first thing it is right, here's your build from level 1 to 17 and then 18 to 31, and it opens up this sphere grid looking ass skill tree.
Oh yeah, I was trying to find a picture of it, but I couldn't find one on Steam. I'll find one in a second, but isn't it insane, these skill trees?
It's so daunting to just look at, and I'm like, I understand people that are in look at it and go, I don't see the issue because they're used to it, right?
Yeah.
But
Oh my god.
from the outside, this is tiny, by the way. This is showing nothing.
That's zoomed in. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's like a 4K image as well, just to fit it in.
And once you get to a certain level, you like upgrade your class and get another one, same size.
Is that true? I didn't know that.
So it's like, or some shit. There's definitely like a second skill tree.
This looks like a circuit board.
So you've got to play this game, and like most of these nodes will be like strength plus 10, dex plus 10, your standard ones. But then there'll be some which is like minion damage up. So if you're going for a minion build, you have to find all those nodes. And then there'll be actual ones that do stuff like if you crit a guy 3 times in a row, fucking he explodes. I don't know, but like there's some
That's
nodes
actually
which
how
are
it's worded.
clearly
Yeah. Hit a guy
some
3
nodes
times,
which
fuck it, I
clearly
don't know.
do
Boom.
stuff, and you've got to aim for those nodes.
Yeah.
And the rest are kind of filler. So I'm following a guide, so I ignore all this. The guide tells me what's to take.
I was going to
Thumbs
say,
up.
Before
I
we
managed
like-
to ignore
I
this.
feel like you could read a whole novel before you read all the pips on this talent tree.
Well, isn't this? Don't want to derail this. What Sam's going on about, but like, isn't this basically what Diablo 4 is now chasing with the Paragon system, where it's like a whole bunch
Maybe.
of +5 strength plus.
Okay, right. So
Yeah.
mechanically, yes, but when you've got in Diablo 4, for example, you've got like 5 big nodes with maybe surrounded by like 5 to 6 small nodes.
Yeah.
And then you've got this given to you at level 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. But have you?
You know?
Have you?
It's literally like time to staring at the sphere grid is like 30 seconds. You load in, you make your character, you kill like 4 zombies, and it's like bam, good luck.
Yeah.
Pick one of these. Don't pick the wrong one.
Because there was look, it's here. I got a picture of it here. There was a video they made, they being Blizzard, of the Paragon system. Oh, that image is tiny. The Paragon system in Diablo 4, and it's kind of, you see it here, where it's like,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
that's what I was
God.
referring to.
Yeah, but I feel like that Paragon is always you unlock it once you max level your character, right? And I feel like if it's like it's there to, once you're familiar with the game and your character and what you're kind of trying to do with your character, right?
Yeah.
Will naturally be like, oh, I this is what I need to aim for. I'm going to go for this sort of thing. Like,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Like instead of
Yeah.
Path of Exile, which is like you pick a character, but that just determines where they're all the same grid, and it just determines where you start on it, and it's just like go nuts, man. Whatever you want, go where you want, sort of
It's
thing.
almost quite literally FF10 sphere grid.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I get that. That's cool.
So I'm playing an Int Barbarian.
What, excuse me?
Yeah, so
that doesn't compute in my mind.
I'm dual wielding wands at the moment.
What the fuck?
And running around, and I set myself on fire that kills me, but because I'm a barbarian, I just naturally have a lot of health and health regen, so I don't die, but everything around me burns.
I thought you said you were just getting into this game, but it sounds like you picked the wrong build.
Oh, I picked the right build. Like, once it finally got online and I got my skill, like, there's another system, which I'll get into shortly, which is, like, how to upgrade your skills. But just getting the core ability and being like, this is what I want to do. I want to be on fire, scream at things, and watch them die. And it's like, damn, this is awesome.
I like that you've used the build to get there. I like the idea of someone playing casually, picking a few like skills, pressing a button, then they just kill themselves and die. It's like, oh, this game's a bit shit, isn't it?
Well, so you got to kind of go out of your way. It took me a while to get this skill, and it does say that it burns you for 90% of your maximum health every second.
Right, okay.
So, that's on you. But, yeah, basically, they've got this thing where each bit of gear has sockets on it for gems and stuff, right? And these gems are your skills. And these sockets can be linked so that you put your skill in one, and then you can put another gem in a linked socket, and if it's a support one, which would be like any damaging skill linked to this deals 10% more damage, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it gets a little bit wacky, like after you use X amount of mana, you now regenerate mana faster, or bigger AoE and stuff like that. But the whole thing is how many sockets you get on each bit of gear is completely random. So not only are you trying to get gear that has all your stats on, now you need to worry about what sockets it has, because otherwise you need to use your skills. And my big fire skill is a blue skill, but most of my chunky armor that I want has red skills, because red tends to be health or melee.
God, this is so confusing. I'm sorry, this is so confusing.
It's not that bad.
If you look at it, it's very easy to understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just think of, I mean, I know you hate the standards, like gear has score on it.
Yeah.
But if you think of when gear has plus move speed, plus fire resist.
Yeah.
Just think of a socket or sockets just being another extra modifier that you have to worry about.
Okay, yeah. So just another thing.
Yeah. But the way that Path of Exile deals with this, because that's just, that's just more RNG on top of RNG. This game doesn't have currency per se. Like, you don't kill monsters, they drop gold.
Yeah.
They drop transmutation items. Like, you can turn a grey item into a blue item, for example. It's a very basic one. And then in a shop, you can trade that for something low level, maybe.
Oh yeah, I think I know about this mechanic actually. There was something a really long time ago about this game where there was a bug where you could get some kind of mirror, I think, that could transmute items to some stupidly high level, and it was bugged and people were cloning it or something, and people were freaking out over Path of Exile because the game was just breaking. I'll have to see if I can find it in a bit.
But basically, these items are what you use to trade with vendors, but most importantly, it's what you use to trade with other players, because it has a built-in marketplace for trading.
Yeah.
And it's there's items which is re-roll your item to have sockets, and it will have a minimum of 4 sockets, for example.
Yeah.
And then you'll have another item which says re-roll the links between all the sockets on your item. Then you have another one which will be re-roll the colours of the sockets on your item. So you can just go out and, if you get this really good bit of gear, you go out and farm these materials or sell stuff for these materials, and then just go, I'm just going to pay my way, quote unquote, till I get what I want.
Yeah.
And you get the re-roll all the secondary stats on an item and stuff. So if you get something that is really fucking good in one area, you can kind of just go, well, I'm going to keep this because it's the best in one thing, and I can cheat it to be good in all the others.
Okay.
Which kind of takes out not a lot of the RNG, but it makes it more
palatable,
feasible, because you're like, oh, well, this thing's got one thing I want, one thing I don't want. I know I can change that thing I don't want.
Yeah.
You're never like, oh, well, that sucks. I guess I'll just wait for the next drop, Are
you, up to this point, are you entirely, because this game is free to play, are you completely free to play as well?
Yeah.
So where does monetization come into this?
As far as I'm aware, the only thing you can actually buy is more bank space. I really don't know.
A lot of cosmetics.
I remember watching, because I've watched a couple of videos on this now that I'm kind of getting into it. And one of the videos says Path of Exile is a free-to-play game until you get to end game, where it can be anywhere from £10 to £60, depending on how much you want to spend.
Right.
But it's, I swear, you can't buy power. All
that's
you can
the
buy
most
is
important thing,
more,
right? Yeah.
More slots, more bank slots.
Convenience.
Yeah. because again, trading is a very important thing. So if you've only got one bank slot, that means that's all you've got to hold all of this gear that you're farming.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Like you'll watch streams of this, and people have like 50 bank slots, and it's like named crazy stuff, and it's all color coded, and it's like
it's like a RuneScape bank.
People go nuts, man. People go nuts.
I've heard that this game is definitely a spreadsheet game. Have you got a spreadsheet for this game yet?
What builds in that, I guess, is what you're saying.
So yeah, I guess like to say no would be lying, but to call it a spreadsheet game feels really like iffy because
it's not that you need one, but a lot of people do like having a spreadsheet up to plan out their characters and stuff and min-max it.
It just looks like a Diablo. I'm watching trailers now. It just looks like a Diablo game. Just like
it is Diablo.
Yeah, no, but
I feel like it's one of those things where your spreadsheet will come in if you're playing at like the tippy top.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Whatever the end game is for this, because I've never gotten there, but
I have a build, and like if I showed it to you guys, you would be like, oh yeah, that kind of looks like what I would expect a spreadsheet for this game to look like.
Yeah,
and it's kind of just like it's literally a piece of software with like 6 tabs, and one of it has like all the gear that I want to look out for. One of it's got all my skill trees. One of it tells me what skills I should be using at what levels and stuff like this. And it's like there is a lot of information in that, which like you wouldn't get in just a normal game fact review.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But at the same time, whenever I think spreadsheet, I always think of like EVE Online. Which is like the king of spreadsheet.
Yeah. It's not a spreadsheet, I swear. It's different.
yeah.
Is there any sort of story in this?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So you have to complete the story to get to the like endless mode. It's called maps. Path of Exile. You complete all the acts, and then you get to maps.
Right. Are you on that now?
I'm on Act 3.
Oh, okay. Are you enjoying the story? Is it a good story?
I enjoy the way it's told.
Yeah. Because I feel like I always feel like I'm the weird outlier with these types of games, where I'm going to be playing Diablo 4 because I kind of want to check out the story. I feel like no one else does.
So with Diablo specifically, I will care about the story.
Yeah.
But like for this game, I didn't go in wanting the story from this game. You know, I just wanted a big, like looter, action RPG style game.
Because I completed Diablo 3 and did like one playthrough and finished it, and I was like, that was cool, and put it down. And everyone's just like, you played the game wrong. You never got to the game. I don't know.
Yeah, you did play the game wrong.
Yeah. I guess that's what I get told every time about talking about playing Diablo 3 once. So that's why I was asking about this, just, you know, if it's got any kind of story. And yeah, you got like Chris in Twitch chat right now saying like, I don't care about the story, I just want a game I can grind. Like that.
Yeah, that's what these games are, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
I would say if you're buying a Diablo game purely for the story, I would even argue that's a waste of money.
Yeah, I mean, you still have fun with the game.
I wouldn't go that far. Blizzard storytelling, like, you know, it's not going to be a great story, but their presentation is usually good enough.
Yeah, I would argue that aside, that like, even if I'm there to enjoy the story, like I still enjoy the gameplay for the playthrough that I do.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's just normally the first playthrough of the story in these types of games ends very quickly.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it's more about just making your build, and it's almost like a Vampire Survivors, just writ over many hours of gameplay. You know, where you start off.
What have you just said? You've just said the totally convincing thing that I can now actually believe, which is just Vampire Survivors is TikTok Diablo for like people for like TikTok.
Oh my God,
brain.
it is. Yeah, it is.
I never thought about it.
Like, there's been gameplay in the background, and it's like some of the things they're showing off is like, look at this guy just wiping the screen full of enemies every couple seconds, and it's like, what is that if not Vampire Survivors? Except he's worked way harder to get to that point.
Oh no, Vampire Survivors is TikTok Diablo. That's ruined my night.
It actually is. Has anyone said that yet? I feel like we've got onto something here.
That's why it's like that's why I stopped you halfway through. When you were talking, I was like, no, wait, hang on a minute. No. What have I just thought? I'm never going to think of Vampire Survivors the same.
I feel like you could throw that headline into a room at like most online outlets, like an IGN or something, and you've sparked like so many articles.
Yeah. You get all the new trend of videos when Diablo 4 comes out. It's going to be Diablo 4 gameplay up top, Vampire Survivors up bottom to get retention.
Damn, yeah. Well, there you go.
So what's your plan with this, Sam? Like, when do you say no more?
Ride it out.
Yeah.
Again, because I've hit that bit where I feel powerful, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
Now that might wear off. But now that I'm killing stuff, that kind of gives me room to get into those systems that were really daunting at the start.
Yes, yeah.
Because the worst part is at the start, not only do you have all these systems, but you're not killing anything. You have to literally, like, you've got to melee mobs 4 or 5 times, or you use your skill, and it's like, well, I've got to run over and power melee attack them twice, or throw a fireball, and then they move, and it's like, well, they dodged my fucking fireball. Like, it's so slow and laboured, and you have to work for everything at the start. You don't have the mental capacity to worry about all these other systems. Whereas now I know I can just walk in and kill everything. Like, there's still danger and threat. I don't want to say, like, oh, the game's, like, become pointless.
It always becomes a game of, like, where's Wally? Of where's the thing on the screen that can kill me in this sea of enemies that I'm destroying? Which one can actually hurt me? There it is. Okay, walk away from that one.
But now I can actually look at. Probably won't mess with the talent tree for a while because again I'm following a build. Max level is 90. I'm only at like level 30 odd now, so that build will take me a long time to get through. But I can worry about like what skills do I want to have. Like I can look into how do I get an actual good bit of gear.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So no, it's good. It's just this is like my 4th time playing Path of Exile to finally get into it.
I think I haven't tried. I tried once and I got literally nowhere, and then I stopped.
And I do think the big reason why I've managed to get this far is because I have played all the way up to here co-op with my friend Chris.
Oh, okay. So you can both slog through the shit bits together.
Yeah.
And you said you were going to try this, Will.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it. I'm like Sam. I've played like Act 1 of this game about 4 or 5 times, and I end up getting distracted. So it'll probably happen again, but I know. I
thought the same. It's like I keep bashing my head against it, going, well, one time, like I'm gonna break through.
Yeah. It reminds me of Escape from Tarkov in that the people who get in, like, there's so much here to enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, if you got into build crafting with that fucking giant sphere grid, like, oh, there's so endless potential, right? But I've just never gotten to that point. But maybe this time. Probably not, but maybe.
It's crazy. It's what's crazy to me is just how much of the game is free, and you can just like download this now, and it's like, here's 100 hours of ARPG for you to play for free. It's like, what? Are you sure? I'm not being like Bitcoin mined in the background or something.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I tried because I tried a bunch of action RPGs, and I kept bouncing off all of them. It's why I was desperate to maybe try and play Diablo 2 Resurrected, because I needed one. I just need one.
You've been thinking about Diablo 2 though for months. I remember you talking about it like 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's a tenner. I should just buy it. Maybe I will buy it. No, I've made my mind up.
You promised me.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to wrap it up with, Sam, before we move on? Or are you all good?
No, not really. I'm all good.
All right, then. Yeah, I'm sure we'll probably hear about this. I assume this is going to be like your game going forward now for a while, so we'll get like maybe some updates a bit later.
I'm hoping to finish Atelier at some point, but work is currently kicking my ass.
Laura keeps asking me what's going on with you and Fire Emblem Engage. Did that just stop?
So what happened with that was...
I can see the smile on your face.
That was my play on the train game.
Yeah.
And then went through a period where I just didn't go into the office because of trains and stuff.
Yeah.
And then because I dropped it for over a month, man, it's just really hard to pick back up.
Yeah, Laura is currently on the final boss of Fire Emblem Engage. I say currently because she's had to redo it a few times because she's playing on like Merciless or something and keeps having to retry. She's like, she's put more time into that final boss map than I do on most games that I play. Full stop. Like, she's like 8 or 9 hours in to doing one
level. Then again, she always was the most hardcore gamer. So
yeah, that's true.
But yeah, she keeps asking like, "Well, Sam not playing Fire Emblem? I never see him playing Fire Emblem. Oh, I hope he hasn't dropped it."
That's the thing. I'm like, I really like the game. You know how you said you bought Riser to be just a Steam Deck game.
Yeah.
I bought Engage to be a Switch game to play while traveling.
And you just didn't travel.
Yeah, I didn't play it to be a main game.
That's fine. So... You can just next time we meet up, you can just answer to her directly and look into her sad eyes and tell her that you dropped it. All right, and what have you been doing, Steve?
I have been playing some RavensWatch.
Oh, RavensWatch.
Since we were talking about Diablo-like games, here's another one. So this game it's early access, so unfortunately the content in it is limited. But this is definitely a game to keep an eye on for sure. The premise of this game is you are like a fairy tale character. At the moment, they've got 6 characters in, being like Little Red Riding Hood, the Pied Piper, Snow Queen, basically Elsa, Aladdin,
Aladdin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's a Diablo-like roguelike. So you go into the map and you basically start your character fresh every single time. But when you finish the map, you like have permanent unlocks, like as usually like options. When you level up in this game, you get like an option of like an upgrade to pick.
Okay.
So it is very it's very fun. Like as I say, the characters all feel very different. This is you can play this game solo, which I have been doing, or you can do it multiplayer as well. And the whole premise is like you spawn into the map and you have like 4 days to level up as much as you can before you're forced to fight the boss on the map. There's a day and a night cycle, and oftentimes the characters have like their abilities change.
Ooh, that's cool.
Even in the case of Little Red Riding Hood, she changes into the wolf at nighttime, so she gets totally different abilities. But yeah, so you have to like go around this map, and they'll give you some points of interest on the map, but for the most part, you have to explore and find like if you find like a health shrine, you can get extra health. If you there's like side quests to do, there's like mini bosses and like a bunch of other objectives. It's kind of got like a almost cell shape. It looks like Darkest Dungeon if Darkest Dungeon made this game.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of like a weird mix of Diablo and Hades.
Yes, yeah.
Which is a good combination.
Very stylized, but yeah, and it's also this game's like only like 16 quid. I think the as I said, there's not much content in this game at the moment. I think there's only like one map and one big boss at the moment.
Is the map the same every time, every run?
I think there's 1 or 2. I'm not sure.
Or like you mean like variances or?
Yeah, like for the most part it's the same, but like the objectives in it are different, and like the locations of everything are different. As this is early access, unfortunately. But yeah, there are 10 difficulty modes and stuff. I'm looking up at the roadmap right now, and like for spring they're adding a bunch more stuff, including a new hero, and then in summer they're adding a new map, and a new end boss, and then it seems like it's going to be like a games as service type of game, even though there's no real monetization in the game right now, because it's early access.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game is a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it. I think my favorite hero to play as was the Pied Piper, because he has a lot, like he just like spawns rats constantly.
Yeah.
And then when you want to, you just press your Q button and they just go and attack and then die after a few seconds. Oh, it's great.
I love the idea of fantasy and storybook characters just being, just sick cunts instead of being like that. Oh, la di da. It's like, no, here's Aladdin. I don't know, he's got a gun or something.
Yeah, this is a dark, like it's not like when I say like fairy tales. It's not like like bright, it's
like Grimm's fairy tales.
Yeah, Grimm's fairy tales, exactly.
It's like that. What was the Wolf Among Us, the Telltale property, and all the comic book stuff, which was like, here's all the fairy tale creatures, but they're all alcoholics and prostitutes and murderers. And
yeah.
I love that stuff.
But yeah, this game is, I would say, definitely one to keep an eye on. Like, it's, as I said, it's only 16 quid, so I can forgive the quote unquote lack of content right now in the game. But it definitely seems like it's polished enough. You could definitely buy it and get like full enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
And I would be interested in trying it multiplayer as well at some point. But it's just finding people to play with.
I made the Hades comparison earlier, but Hades had the exact same problem on launch, which was Hades was early access, and I got it like day of release, early access, and I loved it because it's Hades. Like, it was amazing, right? And then you finish the first like 1 or 2 worlds and kill a boss, and it's like, oh, I'll come back later, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be such a great game in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I will come back and play it in a year and a half, and like Hades now is, it's like so well known to be like an amazing game, right?
Do you think they looked at the year of releases and went, it's fucking now or never, guys? we gotta put something out now. Could
be like, I mean, it's plays like Diablo, get it out before Diablo for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've also got, I keep saying Hades, but Hades 2 will come out at some point, probably also early access again, which, kind of hard to compete if you're also an early access similar-ish game. I know they're not the same, but like you can kind of squint and they look somewhat similar.
Yeah.
Because also, as like stacked as the middle of this year is, it's like the end of the year currently has not a lot in it, but there's going to be tons of stuff that comes out end of this year.
Starfield.
Well, it's got stuff, but I don't mean like as of right now. It's not like 3 or 4 releases a month, is it? It's like one game this month. One game.
It's back to normal sort of thing.
Yeah, but you're gonna
February.
We're gonna get
June with the 2 big ones.
I guarantee we'll get past E3-ish time. I'm still gonna call it E3 time. Don't even care that it's dead. You'll get to like July. And then it will start being like, oh yeah, by the way, Spider-Man 2 comes out in like 2 months, and also this comes out in 3 months, and by the way, like new Call of Duty or something, or new this, that, and the other, also come out at Christmas. Like,
definitely going to be a new Call of Duty this year, isn't it?
I was gonna say, hang on, we got at least 2 of the games coming out in June will be delayed. Let's
Which 2?
That's a. I've forgotten the games that are coming out now.
the more time that passes, the less I'm starting to think any delay is going to happen. I think we might just get a really stacked June.
No, someone's going to be smart. Final Fantasy 16 won't get delayed. Maybe Exoprimal.
FF16 is 100% not getting delayed. They've said they're not delaying it. It's gone gold. It's gone gold. Like, the disc is being printed.
I think Exoprimal, potentially. I don't think Street Fighter will. Diablo won't. So yeah, Pikmin 4 and Exo. No, actually, no. Nintendo don't usually.
Nintendo do not care about competition. They will release their game regardless.
Exoprimal and Baldur's Gate 4 then being delayed.
I think they're the most likely, but I still don't think they're going to get delayed. I still think everything is fine. I think everything is locked in.
Counter-Strike then.
Counter-Strike doesn't have a date. That's just summer, right?
Yeah, they just said
summer.
So
it could be delayed then?
Well, no, they just haven't announced a date. They could pick the last day of summer.
It could be September summer,
When it's like starting to get dark and cold and stuff. They're just like, it's still summer. Who cares? Anything else? Tell me more about this game, Steve. You gonna play it update by update?
I'm not usually one for Diablo-like games. Like I'll play them. Usually, I'll play them with other people.
Yeah.
I was like, this one looked interesting enough. Like I love like the fairy tale shit,
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's great.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are all these things like open license at this point? Is like Red Riding Hood, is that just anyone can make a story?
They must be, right?
Featuring Red Riding Hood. Yeah, I was trying to, but then you said like Aladdin.
Dude was literally called Aladdin. Like he's literally called Aladdin.
Yeah, but like,
I
understand what you're saying, but I'm like, either they've taken a big risk.
No, but are we being naive? Like, is Disney's Aladdin also based on another open license old story called Aladdin?
Alibaba and the Seven.
It's a folktale. It's a Middle Eastern folktale.
Yeah, so it must be fine, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to assume these people that have spent tens of thousands of hours making this game probably have done more research than us.
Probably. I was just curious, is if that and because like Beowulf, is that is it we can just do that now?
I love the idea of this game coming out. They spend years making it, and on like day one, Disney just come over and they're like, absolutely not.
Aladdin, are you fucking kidding me? You just cease and desist into oblivion. Yeah.
The next DLC character for RavensWatch, Mickey Mouse.
I mean, technically they've got Elsa in there.
Well, they've got the Snow Queen, right?
Yeah, she's called Snow Queen.
Yeah.
She's legally distinct Snow Princess.
You must have done some research to know that, hey, this character we can't just straight up call her Elsa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost like a balancing act where they're trying to get as close to relevant characters as they can while still being protected by like, I don't know what is it, like Creative Commons or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Whatever it is. Because it's like it's like Aladdin, right? Everybody remembers Aladdin, but it's like, oh, but we meant Aladdin the folktale from way back when.
Yeah, they've got backup 3D models all rigged and ready to go in case they have to change it slightly to be further away from Disney Aladdin, just in case.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like it's riding that fine line where I think everything is so like everything these days is so derivative, right? Everything is based on something else. It's based on something else.
Yeah.
If you dig back far enough, you can probably find something that's 100 years old and able to be used at this point. Because I think there's that thing about like, I think it's Disney keep changing the time that you're allowed to like have something before it becomes
because Mickey Mouse is approaching like 100 or something, and that is normally. That's after that. It's like free. You could do whatever you want with that character.
It's like you're using it. It doesn't matter. It's like it's 100 years old. The people that made it are dead.
And I think it's Disney is trying to change that so they can keep hold of their.
They might have already changed it.
Yeah, probably. They do own half the world at this point.
Yeah, just chuck lawyers at it until the problem goes away.
Yeah. No, I'm here for it though. I really like. This game's got a really cool style. I really like the characters.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot of fun. It feels polished. It feels good and fun to play. Like I recently have, of course, come off of Diablo 4 beta, and it felt good. I enjoyed like the roguelike aspect of it, where it wasn't just like, oh, you got your character and you're just logging on same day to level it up. You for the same week. It's like, oh, you just start a run, and when you're done with the run, you can put it down and then go for another one later.
This reminds me that this being early access, at the start of early access, Darkest Dungeon 2 is now really close to full release, which is quite exciting because I bought that. I bought that when it first came out and was like, this is cool, but it's like super early.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to just like jumping into that when it's finished.
I did the same. That was another one where it was like they announced early access and it was like at a discounted price, and then at the same time, Epic had a thing on where they did. It was like. Fill out that thing and get
you want a tenner? Like, fuck it.
I think I bought Darkest Dungeon 2 for like £6, like years and years ago, back when it first launched, and I've just been sat on that one until it hits 1.0.
Yeah, I think that's like early May. I think it comes to 1.0.
It is May 8th, I believe.
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
That'd be a good one to play.
Yeah,
Mhm.
looking forward to that.
Cool. Anything you want to wrap this up with,
Like
Steve?
holiday.
Oh shit! Yeah, bank
Um,
holiday.
I'm just trying to think like what is the character that I would like? What fairy tale character?
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. But I was like, is anyone here familiar enough with like old?
Yeah,
folk
ye
tales?
old folklore.
Yeah.
I would like 7 dwarf characters.
Yeah, is that
Mhm.
just Disney though?
I don't. I see. I'm thinking back to what was that? There was that that TV show Storybrooke, or I can't remember what it was called,
I have
where they
no
had
clue.
like it was the woman from House.
Olivia Wilde.
No. Once Upon a Time. That was it. Yeah, that show
Yeah.
where they had like, it's fairy tale characters in a city, and they lost their memories. Maybe Pinocchio.
I was just thinking Pinocchio actually. It's like a Pinocchio character.
King Arthur.
Yeah,
There
King
you
Arthur.
go.
Shrek.
That's a good one. I was thinking Hunchback of Notre Dame. Right, he's a big ogre and he swings a bell around on a rope.
I want Winnie the Pooh.
The game
I don't want that. I want to veto Steve's idea.
game will get banned from China. You can't do that.
Oh god.
All right, well,
Rasputin.
yeah.
Rasputin.
It's like, sure, fine. I'll allow it.
Hansel and Gretel as well could be good.
I'm gonna chuck this out to. We never do this. We should do this more. Community question. People listening in. I'll put it as a Spotify question, and you can also put it in the YouTube comments as well. Who would you like, fantasy character or like fairy tale character? Who would be cool to put in an action game? There you go. We'll put that out there for you.
Jabberwocky.
I don't know.
Chupacabra.
You're just making shit up now.
That's like a cryptid, isn't it? That's
also known as
creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
Yes,
The Loch Ness Monster.
the Loch Ness Monster. There we go. We did it.
All right, let's we'll go from that. We'll go into some news. There's some good stuff here. The first main news story of the week is almost perfect for Sam. Basically, it's like Sam's perfect story. So we'll see if you can work out what it is before we get into it.
I already know, mate. I knew I was.
Right, I'll bring it up here. There are some very big rumors going around right now.
Well, it's leaked footage.
There is leaked footage, but people
Rumored leaked footage.
Oh my god, what is it? Let him finish.
They're rumored footage floating around of a remake of Persona 3 and also a brand new Jet Set Radio reboot. So the story as it goes, there's like, I can't show the video. I might be able to, but I'm not going to. Every time I've tried to find this, like throughout the week, it gets taken down almost immediately. Like from Twitter, from YouTube, anywhere you go, it's like gone. Which is that
Big Atlas trying to crush this story before it gets out?
Maybe. Well, so Persona 3 Remake has been rumoured for fucking ages. I'm not sure where the rumours started, but there has been rumours. What has come out, and you can find this, I'll tell you that if you go looking for it, you can go on Twitter and just type in like Persona 3 and some person would have uploaded it in the last hour. There's like an internal Sega video showing footage of 3 games. It shows Sonic Frontiers, which obviously is out now, because this video is from supposedly 2021. It shows Sonic Frontiers. It shows 4 seconds of Persona 3, like some kind of high-res Persona 3 remake. And
some Archer girl.
Yeah.
Looks so good.
And it also shows footage of some kind of new Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio.
I'm personally on Team Real. I think this is 100% real. The footage itself, like the 4 seconds of Persona 3, looks so good. It's like
it looks so good.
It's like 240p and 4 seconds long, but it gets me so excited. I'm so excited. I hope this is real because
same.
I have tried to play Persona 3, I think twice now, and it's just too old. It's on the cusp.
Yes.
It's on the cusp of like retro, like good, but also some of the mechanics are really clunky and like, oh god, why does it play this way?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like whenever like Chrono Trigger got so many like remakes and shit,
Yeah.
and like was on so many newer consoles, and I was like, look, I grew up with Final Fantasy. I just can't play this game. It's too old.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And
Yeah.
Persona 3 kind of it falls into that category. It's still like a PS2 era game, so it still holds up to some degree.
Yeah.
But it feels clunky to play if you've played any other SMT game.
It's crazy how kind of similar Persona 3 and 4 look side by side, but Persona 4 plays so much better.
Yeah.
There's just so many quality of life things added to Persona 4. Because there are people that are like, you look at like comment threads about this remake, people saying, "Oh, I hope they remake Persona 4 as well." And it's like, you don't really need a Persona 4 remake.
Don't.
Even though they look...
I'd take one.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'd play it in a heartbeat. But I don't think you need one. Whereas Persona 3, because it's also Persona 3 is also kind of, there's like a weird version of it on PSP.
It's
that's how I played it. Persona 4 Golden.
Persona 3 Portable, and then there's Persona 3 FES.
Yeah,
and they're two different versions of Persona 3.
Yeah. It's
probably get the PSP variant because that has the female protagonist as well as a couple new social links.
Yeah.
Is Persona 3 the one where you kill yourself to summon the monsters?
In Minecraft.
You blow your brains out to summon your persona.
You use it's called an evoker, an invoker,
evoker. It's called an evoker.
And you shout persona, and you cap yourself. And then
for real?
Yes.
When you're like 11 fucking years old, and you start this game, and you see the guy pick up the gun, blow his brains out, and this huge fucking thing comes out and just starts fucking tearing people up. Oh man, it's an impression.
Your guy stands there. He pulls out a gun, shouts persona, caps himself. A big JoJo fucking stand thing flies out, and then the song "Mass Destruction," one of the coolest songs in the game ever, starts playing. It's like, oh fuck, why is this game so clunky? Because it's so cool and I want to play more, but it plays like ass.
Yeah.
I fucking love Persona.
I love Persona so much. It's just I'm going around in circles, but I love this news. And
that video, like, it doesn't just look like, oh, it looks good. Like, it looks fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's like a few seconds of the character using like a bow and arrow kind of thing and shooting at obviously like a monster. And it looks like all the cool stylish stuff you've come to expect from like Persona 5. I was gonna
say it looks very Persona 5. Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing where you got to be careful because again, it's all rumors. Because if you go looking around this stuff, some people are saying like, "Oh, all this stuff here is all original assets. Like, you know, this is new. It has to be a new thing." And then you go to another thread, and there are other people saying, "Oh no, this looks like this is the Persona 3 character in the Persona 5 mobile game. That's why it looks."
Oh, I forgot about that.
And it's just like, I don't know what to think.
It's why I'm like, I've not even Googled it or looked for it. I'm just letting it exist.
Yes.
I'm just happy it exists.
The one thing I'll put onto this, which again pushes it into team real, is I think it's in this article. I'll try and find it. If it's not, I'll just do it off memory. Yeah, it's not here. So they have recently, they being Sega Atlas, have registered a new website. I think it's like p3something.jp, using the same internet like provider as the Persona 5 Royale website, Japanese website. So it's just one more thing to point at and be like,
Yeah.
So it's, again, still nothing concrete. Like until they literally come out and say, yeah, this is real. It's not real. Yeah, it's not real
until they tell me.
If it ends up not being real, I have officially been debated because I'm so excited and it looks so real.
Well, it's probably real, but the question is, when will it get announced? You know,
No,
is it
see,
going to be Summer Games Fest, or
it-
is it going to be?
I don't
later
think
on?
it is guaranteed to be real.
No, I don't think it is
Yeah.
guaranteed to be real. I think I'm. If you told me gun to my head, put money down, I would put money down on it being real. But that is not like 100% in my brain. It's like
No, you
60,
can't put a gun
70.
to your head. That's going to summon your persona.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, Jesus.
That's really good. The other half of this, which we've not quite as exciting to me, but is for Sam, I guess, is new Jet Set Radio
Jet Set
reboot.
Radio.
If you remember from last
best
week,
platformer.
best platformer. This news story is literally all Sam. So yeah,
Yes, I mean, Jet Set Radio was a game I played a lot as a kid, but it was
they've not had games since
what a
like
game.
I think like 20 years ago or something crazy.
Yeah.
The Jet Set Radio Future, I think, on Xbox. Maybe. Let's have a quick look. Jet Set Radio games. How long has it been? Jet Set Radio was year 2000. Yeah, Jet Set Radio Future, 2002 on the, I think, Xbox and Dreamcast. It's crazy.
I'm not interested in playing these games, but I am interested in the music because Will has used the music for his streams a few times. And it's a bop.
I've never played a Jet Set Radio game, but I've always had the soundtracks like close to hand, in some form or another.
Understand the concept of love is one of the best gaming songs ever made.
Yeah, it's true.
And I've also only played Jet Set Radio like once, but I've listened to that song cumulatively for like 20 hours over my life. It's so good. Yes, some cool rumors. Lots of stuff to get excited for if it's all real. I would imagine we might see stuff around like June, July, like news maybe. But
yeah, I was gonna say that's when Summer Games Fest is. So that's if anything's gonna get announced, it'll be then.
Oh yeah, there was one more thing. It's all come back to me now. Yeah, another thing to do with one more thing, Jackie. You had what's the website? Gamatsu, which is like a big gaming news conglomerate and do stuff like that. They have also come out and confirmed that Persona 3 is being remade. They haven't confirmed that the footage that has just been shown is from that game, but they have said they've put their
That's good enough for me.
Yeah. Like I said, everything is just sort of.
That's why you were willing to put a gun to your head because it was already confirmed.
No, it's not. You can't say gun live on It's Evoker. You can't use the GUN word. Speaking of guns, you've got next news story. This is I'm kind of weird about this, but I'll tell what the story is first. Resident Evil 4 Remake, a game that I completely gushed about. And I completely love, and I still completely love. It's an amazing game. Has just had an update. They've had the Mercenaries DLC added for free. So,
okay,
kind of cool that it's free, but also it was in the original game, so it's probably just more of like
been there,
more of a delay on it than free DLC. Yeah. They've also added a few microtransactions into the game. So yeah, kind of weird. Like I said, as you go through the game, you talk to the merchant and you can buy upgrades. And with a gun in Resident Evil 4 that you take to the merchant, once you buy all the upgrades, there's one final upgrade you can buy, and it costs quite a bit more than the others. And it's like the one big upgrade at the end of a skill tree. So it'll be like the pistol that's better for like penetrating enemies, like 2 in a line kind of thing. Buy this upgrade, you can now shoot 5 in a line. Stuff like that. Yeah. Or the shotgun that's known for having a shitload of ammo, like 24 rounds. Final upgrade, twice as much ammo. Now it's like 48 rounds, or 48 shells. But it's a big, expensive upgrade. It's normally like hundreds of thousands of in-game currency. They've snuck in microtransactions to now buy these final upgrades for your gun.
Tickets, right?
So yeah, so you can buy a ticket, which is like a coupon to buy any of these upgrades, without using in-game currency. I'm kind of two ways about this. The first one is like I don't think it's really a big deal because you get so much currency on a playthrough anyway that as long as you're just playing the game, you can get these upgrades anyway. It's not like you have to pay. So when I finished the game, I think I had like 3 or 4 of the guns like maxed out with their max thing. So it's not something that you need to buy. The kind of slimy part is how it's just kind of like snuck in after all the reviews are out, like praising the game. That's the really shit bit.
That's the Call of Duty method, isn't it?
Well, I think it's the last game I remember doing this. Oddly enough, I think it was like a Crash Bandicoot racing game. Did something similar, where it was like, it wasn't soon after launch, but it was like a few months after launch. They opened up a whole marketplace of like microtransactions and stuff, and it's like, hang on a minute, no. Like, all these reviews hailing the game for having no microtransactions are now false.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really weird place. I don't know. What do you guys think of this?
I personally think, like, you say it's not that bad. I think it's not that bad on paper, but it's the precedent it sets. Like, our other games could be like, well, we can sneak in a microtransaction here or there in our games, like do it post-launch, so it avoids the reviews. And at first, it's just like these weapon upgrades that probably aren't going to affect too many people. Like, it's mostly going to affect people doing New Game Plus, I believe, or going for New Game Plus, trying to like max everything. But like, it's like, oh, it's like the final weapon upgrade here, then it's going to be character levels, then it's going to be this and that, and it can very quickly get out of hand. So I think, as gamers, we should not, we shouldn't let this one slide.
Yeah,
I think I agree with Steve on some things. I think this is like gonna get mostly the people that are like struggling with the game. I think anyone doing like New Game Plus or whatever is like, they already know what they're doing, so they already know what guns they're going to use, where to get the money.
Yeah. If you're on New Game Plus, you have completed the game and you understand enough of the in-game economy to know how much money you can get and how much things cost.
But what I do agree with is, like, part of me is like, oh, it's a single-player game, it doesn't matter. And now I'm like, no, it genuinely does matter. Like, why are they putting it in?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not needed. Either earn it in game, like you already could, or don't get it.
It's to capitalize on impatience.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, even like
it's
you said about people struggling, they probably have upped the price of the final upgrades in game to make it so it's like, oh well, you got to grind all this gold, or you could just but spend £2 on this ticket.
That's the weird thing that I find about it is, like I said, and I stand by it, is I played RE4 Remake on normal difficulty going through, and I thought it was really well balanced. There were certain bits where I was struggling for ammo or struggling for health, but it's like, it's a survival horror action game. Like that's part of the experience, I felt like. So, like, that's why I said I agree with Sam. I think it's to almost like catch people that maybe don't play a lot of games early on in the game, where they're like, oh, I'm low on ammo or I'm low on health, instead of pushing through and having like, that push pull of a game where it's like, oh, I'm dying, now I'm doing well, now I'm doing bad. It's just like, well, I'm just going to buy all the upgrades for a gun and just walk through.
Yeah. It's very weird.
It's really weird. I think I am with you guys on this. Where I don't think the microtransactions are bad as far as certain games have microtransactions. I think they could have been like way worse. But I think just the sneaking it in, a couple of weeks after launch is like, come on.
It's the sneaking in, but also like, I understand games have to change, like especially like remakes and stuff. A lot of people suffer from like what I like to call TikTok brain, where they don't have the time to put into these like massive long games, and they do like convenient shortcuts. Did they need to charge real money for it? Like, could they not have just like so whenever like Final Fantasy does a remake of their games, except for Final Fantasy VII, remake, because that's like a whole separate game.
Yeah.
But they often have like the cheat codes basically just in the game, so you can be like, max your character level, have take no damage. It's just like, it's there if you want it, but you're ruining the experience if you do use those. But it's there. It's the fact that they're like, oh, here, here's just a little bit of money on this full price single player release game.
Or cheat codes fundamentally vanished as soon as developers realized that you can charge people for them and people are willing to buy them. It's not because like if you put these things out and no one bought them, they disappear in a second. but people obviously do buy them. And this game isn't the first game. This isn't the first single player game to offer upgrades. You have like all the Assassin's Creed games have XP boosts and this, that, and the other. It's like it's a single player game and you decide the XP rates. Why am I buying XP boosts?
That's the worry, isn't it? Is that like they sneak this in now, but then like do they make Resident Evil 5 remake? They're like, hey, what if we made it 10% more grindier? So that's a little bit more appealing.
That's why I don't think it's the worst thing here. If it was Resident Evil 4 remake has added microtransactions, and also now they've secretly made the game harder. Fuck off.
Yeah.
It's like if they want to do microtransactions, just give us beachwear bikini DLC.
I knew that was going to come up at some point.
Instead,
the second you announced it, I knew that was coming.
Cosmetics.
The game already has that.
It does.
Yeah, sell more.
You can that shit up. You can make Leon look like the Final Fantasy 16 protagonist. Have you seen that?
Is that official or is that modded?
It's real. Hang on, let me find it.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I saw some GIFs on Twitter where I was like, I can't tell if this is real anymore.
I was gonna say because I saw one of Leon butt naked.
Yeah, that's probably a mod. It's in the. I'll see if I can find this. There's a DLC that straight up turns him into like it's the villain one. Here we go. I've got it here. Look at that shit. That's Leon. That's canon. You can have that in the game.
Who's that meant to be again?
That's Leon.
Leon, no, but what character is
dressed as?
Yeah, he's not dressed as anyone specifically, but it's just called the villain outfit.
Right.
But he kind of looks like FF16 protagonist.
Oh,
kind
16.
Of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, that doesn't look like Noctis. I thought you talked about 15.
No, we don't talk about 15. But yeah, this game already has like tons of costumes and stuff.
So why did I need to add more like power boosts? Like, no, stop it.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like, I mean, you don't just program these things overnight, right? They were always going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't. The game doesn't come out and they go, hang on, yeah, we've got a spare minute. Let's program a whole brand new microtransaction system and get it all authorized by Sony, Xbox, and Steam, all within.
Because it reminds me of when I played Bravely Default for the first time. That game, within like the first hour, it introduces you to like the battle system, and there's a thing where it's like literally in game it has like an advert for like, oh, you can literally buy like a potion that lets you have an extra turn in battle, and it forces you to use one. You don't need to buy it, but it gives you the first taste for free, and then it's like, oh yeah, you can do this, and you just go to the eShop and buy potions to get these extra turns. And I thought that was so scummy. Like, and I never used that system again.
Oh, well, after you bought the game for 50 quid or whatever, and then it's like
teaching
you how to use the microtransaction shop.
Literally a tutorial to get to do this, to kind of like scum your way through the game, and it's like, come on. Like, I'm glad that didn't like pop up, but games are trying it now.
So they're really becoming a little bit too normal.
Well, that kind of feels like Bravely Default 1, which was doing that on the DS. I feel like there's a really specific time period, I feel like, during like Xbox 360 and PS3 era where everyone was really dabbling with really shady microtransaction shit. And there were like what were like multiplayer passes? Do you remember those in like brand new games?
Yeah.
Where your boxed game came with a code to play online.
Well, that was always to try and beat the used game market.
But it's like it was like that, and there was like they were also trying like other microtransaction stuff, like how far can we push the boat in games before. And I feel like for a solid period of time, they really reined it back in a bit. They were like, no, okay, like foot off the gas for a bit.
Yeah, well, it all came. I think it's all come back with NFTs. Honestly, I'm glad that that's kind of died out for the most part. But like a lot of game companies really tried it with like the push for NFTs in games, and luckily the gaming community as a whole said like, no, stop this.
Well, yeah, we the microtransaction era kind of stopped to make way for the loot box era and like battle pass stuff, and then NFTs tried. NFTs are kind of taking a back seat, and now I guess that everyone's always trying to get a bit more. What
era
are
we going to get into next?
Yeah. I think NFTs will come up again at some point. They'll try again for sure.
Yeah.
You don't think the well's been thoroughly poisoned on that one?
I'm really not sure because I feel like that. Sorry, you go, Steve.
I was just gonna say, like, it's money, it's greed and money. Where if they will find some way to make it work, or they will try and try and try. Like the NFT games look shit. They'll make a good game with NFTs, and people will be like, "Oh, I'm in an hour," because it's like, "Oh, this game looks good."
Yeah.
But there's NFTs in it, and that's when it's gonna start to pop back up again.
It just takes you're completely right. It just takes one good game that people cannot miss, cannot skip. And then they go, "Oh, this game is so good. It's got NFTs in it, but it's also fucking World of Warcraft 2 or some shit, or it's like it's amazing." And then it's fine, It's like it's just how it works.
Half-Life 3.
Oh my god, you're not even wrong.
Half-Life 3.
When one game becomes acceptable, quote unquote, that will open the floodgates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what's happened with these microtransactions and single player games.
Yeah.
It didn't get stamped out enough, and thus it's just a thing now. It's going to happen.
It's a shame that Ubisoft's opening gambit with NFTs was fucking Ghost Recon something. People were like, nah. I think not. Whatever else, Ubisoft tried it. I think they're still Matt said in chat, like Square Enix are still dabbling with NFTs and stuff. Like everyone's still doing it. You go on Reddit, one of the biggest social media sites on the internet, and there's like on the left-hand panel, there's like NFT and cryptocurrency tabs and stuff, and it's still it's taken a back seat a little bit, but it's still like festering there.
I mean, we got so sick of NFTs that we like literally said for this podcast that we would stop doing NFT stories because there was literally
every month,
multiple every single week.
Yeah. It's back, baby. I missed it. Yeah, that was like episode 5 or 6 or something. It was like NFTs every week for like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to something a bit more uplifting, maybe. This next story here. This is about the Super Mario Bros. Movie, which has recently come out. I haven't seen it yet. I still really want to see it.
Same.
Yeah, the news story around this is that it's basically just breaking a shitload of records. Everyone is seeing this movie. The biggest record that it has broken, biggest worldwide opening of all time for an animated movie. The previous being Frozen 2. And that was Frozen 2 was like pre-COVID numbers. So now, it's kind of like, I know like kind of COVID is still out there, but it's taking like a backseat kind of thing. But people's perception, I feel like, to the cinema has fundamentally changed, I feel.
Yeah.
Well, video on demand became so much better. And
Yeah. And I feel like a bunch of people were like, okay, we're not going outside, let's buy a big TV, and then we don't have to. And now it's like people's home setups are way more favorable than going to like a cramped cinema with no aircon for 3 hours,
Yeah. But yeah, this movie's doing great. It's had a massive opening sort of weekend. I'm looking to see it, I think, maybe next week. I want to go see it, but the general reception seems to be that apparently critics aren't a big fan of it, but like fan reception is really good.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard.
As a general movie, apparently it's like, but like if you're a gamer, there'll be plenty of references.
Yeah, but I've heard,
really like.
I just heard that in general, it's just a really good film.
I've heard there's a lot here for you if you are like a Nintendo fan. Apparently, it's one of those movies where you can like pause every other frame and do the Leonardo point to the screen, be like, look, it's that Goomba in a hard hat from Mario Maker. Fuck.
I just hope Bowsette's in it. I really hope.
You say that, but like, I bet if you pause a certain frame in a crowded marketplace or some shit, she's in the back buying fire flowers or something.
Yeah.
It feels like that sort of movie, I think. But yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. I think I want to do like I kind of talk about it, non-spoiler talk about it when I do 6. I'm really excited to see this when I get around to it.
I'm kind of desperate to see it as well. I was going to see it Tuesday, but like the cinema was sold out like on Monday.
Oh, really?
Like, oh, God. Yeah. So I was like, I'd rather wait till maybe it's died down a little bit.
I was talking to some family about this on Sunday.
Mhm.
Cinema's great right now. There's like tons of stuff out all at once that I want to see, which is normally there's like one movie every few months. I'm like, that looks alright.
I want to see the D&D movie as well.
There's like the Mario movie. There's the D&D movie, which is apparently really good. There's John Wick 4, which is apparently also really good. It's just like you could just go to the cinema and just spend a day there and just see a whole bunch of good movies right now. But yeah. That was that one there.
I fall asleep when I go to the cinema.
No, you don't. My dad does. My dad does that.
But I fall asleep. The chairs are too comfy.
My
you can come to my cinema. It's fucking uncomfortable in my cinema.
It was my dad's birthday on Easter Sunday, and we went round there and we had a barbecue. And he had just been to the cinema with my sister and my 3 nieces. And there was the 5 of them. They all went and they saw this movie. And I asked my dad. I was like, "Oh, what did you think? It's supposed to be really good." And he said exactly what you just said. I don't know. I fell asleep 5 minutes in, missed the whole thing. It's like, "Oh, cool. You paid like £10 for a ticket just to sit in some grotty cinema and fall asleep." Yeah. So we'll talk about that more when we've seen it, I guess. But yeah, Mario movie doing super good. Few more little stories. This one's kind of odd. So we'll see what you think of this. Have you heard about Sony's next PlayStation handheld console?
No.
Don't do this to me, Sony. Not again.
No, okay, so don't get excited because it's nowhere near as...
I'm pogging already.
No, it's nowhere near as cool as what you're imagining. It is the PS Vita 2. This is not. This is basically... Right. So from what we know so far, supposedly, there's a new PlayStation handheld in development. And it's set to come out sooner rather than later, supposedly like this year. And the idea is that it's not a device to play its own games. Instead, it's a dedicated cloud and PS5 remote play device. So,
right.
I know that sounds
like a phone.
So like a phone, yeah. That's all discussion around this has been like, oh, so like a phone. Because that's yeah.
They're trying to get that Switch and Steam Deck money. They're doing their version of it.
What a small
fan
target audience that is. What is that? People who don't have smartphones but do have PS5s and wish to play them on the go
and have good internet connection
and have the local internet infrastructure to support this kind of thing.
There's got to be more to it.
What are we down to? Like, what's the Venn diagram there? How many's that? Like 200 people?
I have bad internet. So I was so close to being a potential customer, but I do not have good enough internet to support cloud play at and about. It's really odd, and I think this news story, if it does end up being true, it needs more time to explain itself. I think.
Yeah. It needs to justify itself.
Yeah,
for starters,
It kind of feels like you read the story and you've got Sony in the background going like, no, wait.
Yeah.
It's not as weird as it sounds. Trust.
I can't wait to hear Josh's review of Persona 3 Remake on this handheld system.
Oh my god, yeah, that'd be. Or so supposedly one of the killer things of this device is it will have. Supposedly it's going to look like, imagine a PlayStation controller, but like with a screen in the middle. Kind of like, I guess, like not like a Wii U gamepad. I was going to say like a Wii U gamepad, but like maybe more ergonomic than that piece of junk. So it will have like all the adaptive triggers and stuff that the PS5 controller has. Because to be fair, the PS5 controller is absolutely banging. I love that controller. So more of that is always good. But yeah, it feels really odd because. This story just feels too early. There's also rumors and leaks of an upcoming PS5 Pro set for sort of this Christmas.
If the PS5 gets a Pro before the Switch gets a Pro, I'm gonna flip my desk.
I think it's been too long now for a Switch Pro. I don't think there's going to be a Switch Pro. I've 118.
No, one day there's every single month there's a new rumor, and I have to believe.
But
that
even
they're not gonna
the like, sorry to cut you off. It's just the leaks about the PS5 Pro as well are also really weird in that it's going to just be a slim-ish PS5 with a separate disk drive that you can buy, and
that makes sense.
I guess, but it's weird, right? I'm not.
It's weird, but I feel like that's the direction that they need to go in, because some people just don't care about disk drives, and like it's probably cheaper for them if they can make them without the disk drive, and then be like, oh well, if you want the disk drive, you just plug it in.
I kind of feel like they're inching towards this digital only thing, but constantly scared to pull the trigger. Where it's just like stop kind of compromising your designs and just pick a lane and go with it. It's like there are two PS5s right now. There's the disc version and a discless, and then the next PS5 might be discless, but also you can buy the drive if you want. It's over here. It's like, I don't know, just pick a lane, I guess.
I guess there's a market for maybe people who are like, I'm going to pick up the discless one, and then if I feel like, to save a bit of money, and then if I feel like I'm missing it down the line, I can always pick that up later, because I had the same thing where there's the new run of Xboxes or whatever, and they had the Series X, Series S, and it's like Series X just doesn't come with a disc tray, and I'm like, oh, that sounds good. I never use discs anymore anyway. I'm like, but what if I did need one?
Yeah. Or like,
no, I won't buy either.
Or as someone that rents every single PS5 game instead of buying them, a discless version of a PS5 would be tragic for me.
yeah.
Because that's my big problem with going all digital on any of these consoles, is that for whatever reason, the digital version of games cost more than the disc ones, which is crazy to me. Like, that's completely backwards. There's no logistics in printing, manufacturing, transporting, paying costs to Amazon, to Game, to Argos, wherever you're buying games from. Yet the disc versions cost less. You go on,
and that's not even counting second hand as well.
Exactly, yeah. You go on like the PlayStation Marketplace, was it PSN store, and look up God of War Ragnarok digital version. It's like 70 quid.
Same with Switch as well.
Yeah, you can go to a second-hand shop today and buy God of War Ragnarok for probably like 30 quid. I know it's second-hand, but that's the market you cut yourself out of if you don't go.
And the devious thing is that whenever you buy a console and it's like you want digital games for it, it's like you best buy like a micro SD card at the same time, because it's not going to have enough space by default.
I don't mind. Yeah, the size thing is a problem, but yeah, it's always, for me, it's always been that cost differential. If they said, here's a disc version of a PS5 and a discless version of a PS5, the discs cost 70 quid, but if you go all digital, the games cost 50 quid. It's now you're starting to actually like give an actual benefit.
A PC exists.
Yeah.
So now you're exclusively buying a digital-only PS5 for PS5 exclusives.
What are you... I don't get what you're saying, sorry.
Because if you're going purely digital, right?
Right, yeah.
Why would you not just play it on a PC?
Some people don't have PCs.
Or a PC is like, at this point in time, like 5 times the price.
Yeah.
I think people forget how much more PCs cost compared to consoles.
But I think people forget that everyone does have a PC now.
Is that the
case?
No. A lot of people just have mobiles, or
people have mobiles. People have iPads
or laptops. Yeah,
laptops.
Yeah,
laptops are good enough.
I'll show you my dad's
laptop. Not for God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, I think you vastly underestimate the power of a £300 notebook.
I was gonna say, like we're in like a quite I guess I forgot the word, but like we're in a space where everyone we know has PC.
Yes,
but think of all like the COD bros, the FIFA bros who maybe don't. They're like in a college
I
dorm.
work with them.
Yeah.
Like when I think about these things, I think about the people that I worked with when I worked at Spoons and the people that I work with now, and it's like everyone has access to it may be out of date, but still a decent enough machine, whether it be laptop or PC.
Well, it's like you go, Will.
There's still just a massive percentage of the population doesn't think of PCs as gaming things, and they just want their box that they just put their disc in
lounge,
their FIFA and their COD in every year. Yeah, put it in the lounge on their big 4K TV, and they don't want to fuck with PCs or anything to do with them for gaming.
Yeah, and I'm cherry picking this game specifically because it suits my argument, but you can spend 4 times the amount of money on a PC compared to a PS5, and it still can't run something like The Last of Us as well as the console
hold up,
version.
Isn't that because The Last of Us is a terrible port, though?
Yeah, I said I was cherry picking my argument.
Right, okay.
I was very full on and upfront with what I was doing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you didn't try and smoke screen me there. Yeah.
But yeah, I have seen the computers that my family have, and they have like Switches. They like playing Mario and stuff. And
are we talking about family that are your age or younger?
When I say family, I mean my sister has a Switch they play game on, and they have like a family laptop.
Yeah.
Which would never run. But they play like Minecraft on it at like 720p, 20 FPS, and they're happy with that because they just don't understand. And it's just I don't know. I kind of lost what we were even discussing.
I think we are past the point now where it's like, oh, people don't have PCs. Like, I don't believe that.
Yeah, I disagree, but I don't think we're going to come to
no.
an agreement.
We don't have facts or figures.
No, we don't. No, yeah, and that's fine.
If we were a real podcast, we could get some. But
when I grow up, I want to be a real podcast. Right, a few more little stories, 2 really little ones, and then we'll move on to Steve's upcoming games. Because there's not really a lot to discuss here, really. But this one was kind of cool. Going back to Diablo 4, we were talking about earlier. Diablo 4 has been confirmed it will receive new story content every 3 months.
Story content, okay.
I don't know. You have to wait and see how this is because World of Warcraft expansions get story content frequently, and they drip feed it like absolutely nothing. So we'll see.
It could mean anything.
It could mean anything.
World of Warcraft now have been very good with doing roadmaps. Like they give you like the next 6 months ahead. You know exactly what's coming, which patch. So I assume it's going to be like this with Diablo, where Blizzard are like being very transparent with what's coming and stuff. Same for Overwatch as well. But the surprising thing is the story content. Like because Diablo, like it released and then we got the expansion. I forgot what it was called, and then the Necromancer DLC.
Yeah.
But it didn't really get story content. So I'll be interested to see, like, is it going to be like an MMO where it's like, oh, you don't really finish the game at launch and then you have to keep playing the patches to get to the final boss eventually? Or is it going to be like you finish the game and then this is side story content? Or, you know,
if I play Diablo 4 and I get to the end and I don't kill Lilith, I'm gonna be pissed.
I don't want to kill her, I want to marry her.
I will be angry on this pod. I'll be so mad if I don't kill Lilith by the end of if they pull a Sire Denathrius raid from World of Warcraft and Lilith, you get to Lilith and she shuts her bedroom door and says, "See you in 2 months." I'm gonna be so pissed.
I don't think they'll go for that.
No, I don't.
Blizzard are used to that type of storytelling with their like with story that comes out. So
but that's an MMO storytelling.
Diablo's basically.
I would argue that
it's not.
It's not, but they're kind of marketing it towards.
Okay, what other Blizzard game have they done that in?
What do you mean? I'm not saying they've done it in another game. I'm just saying the way they are.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we taking one example of where they have done it and then gone, well, they've done it in this, so they'll probably do it in that.
Oh no, I don't think it's rock solid whichever way they'll do it.
Yeah, it's just there's a chance.
It's like.
See, I don't even think it's a chance.
How do you think they'll do it? Like,
it's not as how I think they're going to do it. Is I do not think there is a world in which you don't kill Lilith at the end of the base game.
Yeah, I would agree to that. I do think you will kill Lilith. I'm just saying, if you don't, for whatever reason, that would be unbelievably shit.
No, I'll throw my fucking toys out of the pram with you.
That's what I want.
That's fucking disgusting.
I think it'll be interesting.
It's not a world where that happens.
It'll be interesting to see if they kind of, over certain months, they almost like Final Fantasy 14 patches. That's my closest example. Is they slowly lead a new story towards like a new expansion. As opposed to just dropping a thing and being like, here's a new area and a new class. You slowly do, like, seasonal quests that they add that lead towards, oh, what's that on the horizon that's like getting closer? Like, is that a new big bad? Maybe. Oh shit! Like maybe they'll do that.
Final Fantasy 14 does it where you play the expansion. And you beat the boss at the end. You beat the final boss.
Yeah.
And then they do patch 1.1, 1.2 is kind of lead up story for a side story. Then 1.3 or whatever will be you kill the side boss, and that's another big moment. But it is like a separate kind of side story.
I'm still going to go back to
0.5 in the next expansion.
You're comparing Diablo to MMOs.
I would say Diablo can be enjoyed by MMO players. It does sort of have that
absolutely, but the way they tell their story will be nothing like that.
But it's just worrying to me because we've not had a Diablo. We don't know what a Diablo with story every 3 months is going to look like. That's what's worrying me.
I'm not worried about it. I'm excited.
They had more than enough content updates with their version of storytelling in. And you'll see what it looks like.
Does it?
It's just, here's an extra zone. There's lore drops about, and there'll be a boss at the end, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's kind of exciting just to see, how they do end up doing it, because it's obviously they're in this for the long con, like they were with Diablo 3. I think they kind of messed up Diablo 3. They lost a lot of people early on, I think, and it's clear they want to hang on to people. I would argue that this is the closest to an MMO Diablo has been. I'm not saying it is an MMO, obviously, but with people running around, with cosmetics that you can buy and show off, and this, that, and the other. And there's like co-op dungeons and this, that, and the other. It's the closest it's been.
It's be interesting to watch it no matter what.
I just think it's like 3 months is a very relentless pace to be putting new content out. That's what I'd be worried about.
That's why I'm like, it's just going to be like, this time it'll be a new zone with some lore drops.
Yeah.
And maybe the next time, or like a couple of times down the line, it'll be a character.
Well, my brain goes to a million places with all the exciting things they could do, and then I have to to rein it in.
That's where we differ. I'm just there like, how are they gonna make this sound like the amazing thing it isn't?
Oh yeah, because ultimately, at the end of the day, I have to rein it in, because then I suddenly remember that I'm still waiting for Overwatch 2 single player.
I'm still waiting for the Fortnite fucking wave defense game.
No,
worry.
No, you've officially been told that's dead, Sam. You need to let that go. Yeah. One day we'll get Overwatch 2 single player. I actually think if they just keep releasing new characters for Overwatch 2 until people forget that single player was ever announced for Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
Oh, fully. People are obsessed with this new one, Lifeweaver.
Oh, Lifeweaver, yeah.
Yeah, he is a pretty boy, and people like him.
Oh, what a surprise. Overwatch releases new sexy character, and the internet goes mad. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
All right, last little story. There's not a lot to say about this, but I just thought it was quite funny. Tekken 8 director, who is Katsuhiro Harada, confirms crossplay and rollback netcode for Tekken 8. The reason this is the reason this is funny is because he's kind of one of those devs that's just like, just fuck off, leave me alone, whatever. A fan asked on Twitter if it was getting rollback netcode, and he just replied, no, it asked if it had crossplay. Bear in mind, there's no confirmation anywhere about this, and he just replied like, crossplay? Yeah, of course it will. And people were like, wait, what? You never said that anywhere. And then someone also, then directly after that, asked him, okay, what about rollback netcode? And he just replied, oh, yeah, already installed. So it's just casually confirming random shit about their game on Twitter to fans.
I
love that.
I love it.
Honestly, though, is that not like the normal for fighting games now? Like, would you not be dead in the water if you didn't have that?
It's becoming more and more expected, so...
Oh, I think you meant, isn't this the done thing for announcements? Because wasn't the Guilty Gear guy the same, where he just comes out on Twitter and starts arguments with people?
Similar, and stuff like yeah. You've also got the other guy, I can't remember his name, the guy that does Bayonetta.
Oh, yeah, the Bayonetta guy.
Where people are just like, hi, yeah, I really like Bayonetta. And he just replies like fuck off, blocked. And then he blocks you.
It's funny that it's like, for the longest time, we joke about like how Nintendo doesn't really understand the internet or multiplayer or anything like that. But it turns out they just needed Twitter.
Although the Bayonetta creator is funny because he went on Twitter, I think, and said like, "Oh, Bayonetta's going to solve Japan's pregnancy problem because everyone's going to see the new prequel Bayonetta and she's going to be so cute and it's going to make everyone want to have babies." It's like,
I wish I had an ounce of that guy's confidence to come out and say that.
That Bayo director is one of those people on Twitter where he has like, you know, like 60,000 tweets or something stupid. He's one of those people where when you work it out from when Twitter's been out, like he tweets like 50 times a day.
Yeah.
Like every day since Twitter came out. Like,
yeah.
There are certain people that are just like that. They just absolutely live on Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, just this whole story I thought was pretty funny. Just the idea of just like, yeah, of course it's in. We put it in. Like, what do you want? Go away. But yeah, that's all the news for the week. What have you got fresh? You said there's a lot of stuff coming out, Steve.
Yes, I actually had to cut back some of the indie stuff because there was end of the week. There's a bunch of stuff. So first of all, on April 13th, we have a game called Boundary. This is an early access game. It is Astronaut Zero G space shooter.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you kind of like going around like outside space satellites in your astronaut suits, but it's also a shooter. And I was like, at first you're like, oh, it looks a bit boring, but then you see some of the combat where they're just like floating there and shooting each other, and I was like, actually, that could be kind of fun.
Didn't a Call of Duty do this?
I was gonna say that one Call of Duty mission.
Oh my god, the UI is Call of Duty. Look at the things popping up. I'm not going crazy about it.
I didn't play that cool card, but
fuck, this looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
How have we not heard of this?
Was it Call of Duty? It was Call of Duty. I want to say like Future Warfare.
No, it was Ghosts. Right? Call of Duty Ghosts.
Was it Ghosts?
Because they used the big spear gun to shoot America or something, right? I'm sure I'm correct, but I might not be. I don't know.
Is this the one? Is this before or after Call of Duty had now cancelled actor Kevin Spacey as the main antagonist?
No, ironically, Kevin Spacey never went to space in Call of Duty.
All right, what else we got?
Okay. Also on the 13th, we have Vampire Survivors: Tide of the Foscari.
Oh, I've just 100%ed the original.
That comes out tomorrow if you are watching live, and it's already out if you're listening.
Oh, I can't wait for this. It's been long enough now. I haven't played Vampire Survivors in about 2 months, so I'm so ready.
What is coming with this?
Your TikTok Diablo in.
Yeah, TikTok Diablo.
I think
it's so perfect.
It's like 3 new characters, I think, and they're based on like traditional.
8 new characters.
Is it 8 new characters? Fuck me.
Fucking hell.
Oh yeah, and they're based on ye old like fantasy archetypes. So you got a mage. So far, a mage, warrior, and a ranger. Yeah.
Should we guess what the characters are going to be?
13 new weapons. Oh my god, I'm going to lose myself to the Vampire Survivors again.
Hey, you have a game to play next week now.
Oh, I do. Oh, thank fuck.
What are we possibly going to say about Vampire Survivors?
Oh my god, this new map is massive as well. I'm so in. I haven't looked at this page. I knew it was coming out, but I haven't looked at this at all.
Well, you got tomorrow if you want it. So.
19 hours.
Well, 19 hours. So yeah, 5 hours ago. So 4 p.m.
4 p.m. Oh, finish work, come home, play Vampire Survivors. You kidding me? Fuck yes.
Oh, but there are other games coming out though.
Might as well not. I'm not even going to realise they're even there.
On the 14th, we have a game called D-Exit Eternal Matters.
D-Exit?
D-dash exit.
Oh, dash.
This game's name has like incredible promise and will probably not deliver.
This game, I was gonna say, it looks the video and the voice acting is what kind of was like, oh, is this something to like maybe keep an eye on? I don't think it's going to be for everyone.
Surrealistic afterlife journey to discover the secrets of a broken and mysterious plane of memory in this atmospheric light adventure with a hint of stealth.
Yeah, it did not deliver.
Looks like Minecraft.
I was gonna say the voice acting for me kind of was like, oh, okay, is this something that could be fun to play or watch?
Kind of looks like Bionicles.
Kinda, yeah.
But
it's got that stealth aspect of it, you know.
Weird, man.
It does look weird, but I was like, is this something to watch? I don't know.
Maybe. I feel
Doesn't
like
Dexit sound like if Denmark followed suit? That's all I wanted to say. That's such a stupid joke.
Yeah, fuck it, move on. We're not gonna get better than that.
Work that in there.
Oh god.
Dexit means Dexit.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, on the 14th, we also have Mega Man Battle Legacy Network Collection Volume 1 and 2.
Oh my god, Mega Man new Steam. I'm going to do that and hope it comes up.
My old roommate is going to be fucking jazzed about this game. He loved Mega Man Battle.
Are these the Game Boy Advance games?
I believe so. Yeah. It's 10 versions of them split over to Volume 1 and 2.
10 games?
Coming to Steam.
Christ.
That's a great deal.
Yeah.
If this was a remake or a remaster, I would have bought these already. But I'm not just playing the original games.
Oh, it's kind of got like weird pixel smoothing. Am I going crazy?
No,
maybe
it's there.
Yeah, I've heard these games are really popular amongst people that have played them. I've never played a single one of these Mega Man games.
Yeah,
same. I haven't. I played the beta for the new one, but it wasn't that good.
No, I've only played
similar to games you've played Vampire Survivors. I don't think so, Sonny.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we take a big step ahead in time to the 18th, where we have The Mage Seeker, a League of Legends story.
What?
This is the Silas game.
Oh, the Chain Man with chains. Yeah, I know about this.
The Chain Man.
The Chain Man.
What is this? Another RPG? Like the other? No.
I think it's like action.
A brawler?
No, this is all like. There we go. Here's a bit of gameplay. It's got like a weird, almost like blasphemous looking art style.
And it's only like 20 quid or something, or 25 quid. So
I love what they're doing with League of Legends now.
Yeah,
which is taking all the cool story and art and characters and doing anything with them that isn't League of Legends.
Yeah, because we've had the RPG Bilgewater game, and we've had the Ziggs rhythm game.
Yep.
We've also got the Nunu 3D platformer game coming out. We've got the Echo 2D platformer game coming out. This game snuck its way in somehow.
Yep. Oh, this is from the guys who made Moonlighter. Do you remember that game?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably why the pixel art style looks so familiar.
Yes, it is. It is.
You don't forget you got the fighting game coming out at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You've got
the fighting game I see is slightly different. I see that as like a main riot game.
Okay,
This one's kind of like that's a game to service. This is
League of Legends the new Warhammer for licensing?
Probably.
Anyone can have a go.
Probably.
I'm so for that. I think that's such a good idea of all these characters.
Yeah, no, I love it.
People love the characters, so having them in actual stories that you can play is going to be very good.
Well, it's like, it's not even a controversial opinion anymore, but I share the opinion of just like, I love everything about League of Legends except the fucking game itself.
Yeah.
That's why stuff like Arcane and everything, it's just like so good. It's watching all these characters just, do stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Also on the 18th, we have Minecraft Legends.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I saw some footage of this the other day because I've not thought about this since they announced it, and I saw some footage of this the other day. And I was like, this looks like it could be... Because it's like a multiplayer pseudo RTS. It looks pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, it's got PvP, it's got other stuff.
Yeah.
And it's coming to Game Pass as well, so...
Yeah.
Day one.
Microsoft is... Mojang is now all Microsoft, isn't it? So it's just anything Minecraft going forward is just Xbox Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking forward to this for a while. I think ironically, like I'm less excited now it's nearly here because for the longest time I thought it was like some weird Pikmin-esque game. But like you said, I think it's more like kind of RTS.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It'll be a cool one to check out.
We should play this. We should
I
give
was
this
gonna
a
say,
go.
I saw someone play a match of this, just one match, and they had it where it was like you can kind of like do whatever. There's no set roles, but they had like one person building up the base to protect their tower. They had another person going to gather resources, and then two other people were just like assaulting the enemy base. And it was just like looked like so fun because like the people assaulting the enemy base would put in spawners, and then they'd have a bunch of mobs like Pikmin style to kind of like send and throw at the enemy walls to try and knock them down.
Okay. Well, it's like if it's on Game Pass, which was just the 18th of April, that's a really good time to think about subbing because you'll also catch what's it, Redfall? What's that game?
Redfall, yes.
Yeah. You'll catch Redfall in that month as well.
Strategically, now it doesn't cost a quid anymore. We've got to strategically plan our game.
Look, mate, I'm not made of money, right? Yeah, it's not a quid anymore. I've got to be careful.
So we're all committed. 18th, we're all subbing. Okay,
yeah,
right.
I'll be down.
Redfall is what, like the 5th of May?
2nd of May.
Second of May.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Also on the 18th, this one might be a bit more Josh game. We have a game called God of Rock.
God of Rock.
This is a competitive rhythm-based game that is also a fighting game.
Oh, Tired sent me this. He was like, this game looks right up your alley. And I looked at screenshots, and it's a fighting game / rhythm game. I'm like, what the fuck?
Apparently, all the characters in it are like based on musical icons throughout the year. So, like, there's one that probably is Elvis.
big push of like rhythm action games right now. Hi-Fi Rush got this. That's it. But
oh no, there's another one coming out on the 19th as well. We'll get to it. But yeah.
2 games is more than 0, which is what it normally is.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I was going to say, this seems more like a rhythm game than a fighting game. But, I mean, if you like rhythm games, you like fighting games, this could be up your alley.
Yeah.
It's got, like, multiplayer co-op, or online. So, yeah, that one looks okay. Also on the 19th, we have Disney Speedstorm.
That's the racing game.
The racing game, yes.
If you couldn't tell from the name Speedstorm. Wasn't this delayed for ages?
It was, yes. And then it's weird because it just seems weird seeing like Mickey in this high-powered like racing against Hercules.
They're like photorealistic cars. That's so weird.
And it is very weird, but
there's a picture of Captain Jack Sparrow in like a pit crew getup.
He's right there. Where it's
Mulan.
That's so weird.
Mulan,
yeah, Hercules and Jack Sparrow in like pit crew gear.
If this game is cheap, maybe it could be good. We'll have to see.
I would expect it to be free. Is it not free to play? For some reason, I just expect it to be free to play.
If it's free to play PC, like there have been some racing games that have tried to go free to play racing on PC and they aren't good, but maybe this one stands a chance.
This gives me mad multiverses vibes.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
It's just multiverses wasn't realistic, but it was also kind of like all these characters in like the same art style kind of thing. Fucking weird Sully.
Okay. Okay. On the 19th, we have a game called Gun Jam.
Alright, now we got the games for Will.
This is a Josh game.
It's
just because it's got gun in the name, alright.
Oh, he takes a nibble every week.
This is a rhythm action shooter, kind of in the same vein as like Metal Hellsinger.
Okay,
it does look cool, but I resent being pigeonholed like that.
The music, whenever you see these rhythm games, unfortunately you don't get to hear them on the podcast, but the music is always kind of like a big part of it, so you don't get to experience it if you're a visual watcher on YouTube.
It's already hard enough fucking balancing all of our audio, let alone doing Gun Jam at the same time.
But yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's got like these balls in the middle, so you can have like a visual aspect to time your shots. And it looks pretty cool.
Looks alright.
And then also on the 19th, the final game is Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores for PS5, which is the expansion for Horizon Forbidden West.
Oh, I keep meaning to go back and finish Horizon, but it's just like whenever I think about it, I just don't want to.
Forbidden West came out, and my PS4 died, and I don't know when that was because I've just not got it fixed.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yeah, that was ages ago now.
You upgraded your PC a bunch instead, didn't you?
Oh,
well, that's all of that. All of that's kind of like
maybe
all of that's irrelevant anyway, because I think, despite Forbidden West also being on PS4, this DLC is PS5 only.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Odd choice.
Yeah, I believe so.
So if you played Horizon on PS4 and you loved it and can't wait for the DLC, I'm very sorry.
We had something similar with the
It's
Final
kinda
Fantasy
fucked.
remake where they had their DLC only on PS5.
They did.
Yeah.
And
I
now
wonder
it's
if that's a
on PC.
Sony thing then. I wonder if they're just like, we're not going to stop people playing our games on PS4, but we're going to gently encourage them to go out and buy a PS5.
It can also
Or
be
wait for the
because
PC ports.
obviously games take so long to make. It can be that maybe when they were making Forbidden West, it made sense to put it on PS4, but now where we are now, they might want to push tech towards a point where they want to do
they
stuff.
know what they're doing.
They can only do what they want to do on PS5, maybe,
Yeah,
and not be limited
it's probably
by PS4.
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, probably.
They know what they're doing. They're like, oh look, you bought it on PS4. Oopsie, you got to buy it again.
No, I don't think it's. It's easy to be cynical, but I don't think it's that black and white. I think people that make games aren't like evil. They just want to make cool shit, right? And if you've got a whole bunch of people that all want to make cool stuff but are limited by the fact that it's literally on PS4, they might just make the decision of like, you know what? Let's do something PS5 only and have some really cool PS5 shit in there.
Have you ever met a game dev? I've seen them punch puppies.
They're not all evil, Steve. Well, is that? I guess that's all the games then, right?
That's all the games. Yeah, it's turned out to be quite like a
There's lots of stuff.
packed week. Not like something over the top, but there's a lot there. So there'll be something for everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, it's all irrelevant because Vampire Survivors DLC is coming out. So that just encompasses everything, right? All right, let's we'll wrap it up here then, and we'll call it a night. Thank you for listening, everybody. Hope you've had another cool week with us. I've had a really good podcast this week. Don't know about you three. I've had a lot of fun.
It's always a good week, but
Will hates it. Tune in next week to see who we replace him with. We'll do our socials and we'll get out of here. So my name is Josh, aka BottlerWorks on everything. Come find me if you dare. What about you, Will?
My name is Will, or Olive Meister, but you knew that already when you came in here.
And then Steve.
I am Quikwix. That's Quikwix, and I'm becoming a Vampire Survivors streamer.
And Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam.
And then one final thing. Remember to leave a comment about who you would like to see your favorite fairy tale creature in an action game. I think that's a really cool question. Okay, bye everybody.
In the game.
I want
King Arthur.
Bye.
Bye.